Okay, thanks for having me here. It's different today. I don't have slides. It's my first time I don't have slides. So, but I have a screenplay. And it gets iterated quite a lot of times. So we will see if it works. So it's a chamber play of me and this flip chart. So we try. Hello everyone, that's what it says. And this is a very personal talk, a very personal keynote, so thanks for the others speaking before me. I give some feedback, so thanks for the autonomous cars are horses, Luis, I really love that. Thanks for the algorithm marketplace business model. I'd love to have it, I think it's a fairly good idea. We need it, so please build it in Berlin as a startup. We need it. Honestly, I don't like marketing and sales slides, even if they are sponsored. So, well, you know what I mean. And thanks, Lars. I really feel scared now. Honestly, I'm really scared. So that's why I wear a gray collar now. And thanks for using my Mars picture. And thanks, Sean. I didn't get it, but it was a complicated engineering task. So definitely fantastic case. So. First of all, thanks for the invitation and for being part of something truly amazing. I don't need big data to understand that this Data Natives event is really good, so that's awesome. As said, there are no slides, so let's try it. Be prepared for 30 minutes of me, and the flip chart, as my companion. Let's take it from here. So, for those who don't know, what says it? Oh yeah, I'm Klaas. I work as a chief data scientist in Berlin for a company called The Unbelievable Machine company. We pioneered big data and data science in Germany a little bit. We are 100+ people right now, steadily growing, and we work with data and love it. That's enough. If you really want to know more, go to the internet, Google for it, whatever. That's enough. So, let's start with disruption, as everybody is doing nowadays. So, I am not a data scientist. Where's the woo? Hey, what do you mean? It says here, where's the woo? It's in the play, but it's you. So, whoa, come on. Okay. Hey guys, here's a chief data scientist on stage telling you that he's not a data scientist. So, if you are not listening, please, do it now maybe, stop mailing, coding, checking our website, please. So again, I'm not a data scientist. So, yay! So, let's use this. So the guy over there, round about this, not a data scientist. So, yeah, roughly. I'm an engineer, and we heard it before. And Wikipedia says, engineering is the application of mathematics, empirical evidence, and scientific, economic, social, and practical knowledge, well, that's nearly everything, in order to invent, design, build, maintain, research, and improve structures, machines, tools, systems, components, materials, and processes. Well, yeah, seems to be quite a good fit. So, whatever we call ourselves, I am an engineer, and I even studied engineering. I studied image and media engineering, which has a lot to do with computer sciences and mathematics, but nothing to do with data at that time, probably, at a University of Applied Sciences. So I apply science to create something or to whatever. It says improve. So an engineer improves. And honestly, if we look at the market today and all the data science projects out there, maybe not in startups, but in the industry, at the blue chip companies, yeah, for them, big data and data science is mainly improving things that they already do. And that's mainly an engineering task, even if they ask for data scientists and whatever, it's an engineering task mainly, and that's where we are right now. It's quite evolutionary. Some call it boring. But that's the state of the market. So I'm an engineer, and that's not bad, honestly. And today I'm more an engineer in the projects I do than a data scientist? Well, but as said, it's boring. So, similar story. I am a craftsman. I love doing things with my hand. I think most of you do. I'm not a maker. I'm not into these scenes anymore. I'm too old. I have a kid in the house and whatever, so I'm also boring probably, but that's how it works. But I started home brewing this year. Does anyone do home brewing? Well, does anyone love beer? So yeah, that's why. And create a new beer every few weeks. Why do I do that? Well, it's a creative process. I have an idea, I have a taste, kind of feeling, what I want to achieve, and then I try and fail, like we all do every day. But it works out, and that's why I do it and love it. And I love quality and amazing results. And that's a fair, good aspect of my daily work, to love quality. Although I am in an agile process, it's not chaotic. Yes, it's agile, and I really want to achieve something which is amazing and which has a fantastic quality. And of course, I love the taste of beer. Yeah, and I love talking about beer. I love meeting with other people talking about beer. I love whatever, get inspiration. And it's not just with craft brewing. It's with cooking. It's with coding. It's with playing the drums or the piano. Okay, what does it mean? So, one part of my... Is it working? Yes. This is always working. You don't need a clicker, how you call it. So one of my origins is engineering. And my second origin seems to be quite strange, but is musician. Well, I'm not famous on YouTube, but... Oh, I have to swap this. I'm a musician by heart. I play instruments for nearly 30 years now, and I never really learned it. Why? Well, I'm lazy. I had practice lessons for, let's say, 5 to 10 years, but I'm really lazy, and I didn't like practicing Beethoven or something like that. So I started a band, a punk band, and we just started playing like all good punk bands do. We wrote our own songs, we created our own style, we never pinned anything down, but performed together as a team, as one voice, as one body. And so, I'm a team player, and I think all of you are, well, at least you say you are. But if you really think about it, ask yourself, am I a good team player? Am I the best team player the other team players in my team can get? Well, ask yourself. I am a team lead right now because I'm called chief, whatever, but I'm not special, I'm just another role. So of course I'm part of the team, of the same team. One story of music, I got a sense of community there. So it's really awesome. When we started with big data communities 4 years ago, we had the Hadoop get-together, and then came my data science day, which I officially stopped now. We have Data Economy, who do great events, so that's definitely fine, and we have 20,000 meetups, which is awesome. And I get a sense, but I get it before, because when I played in the punk band, we played in all these autonomous and small clubs all over Europe, and yeah, it was punk style and hardcore music, and our first record got paid by a guy from Luxembourg who had a small label and loved what we did. So it was just passionate. And I think that's awesome. So we can learn, we shall meet, and it's perfect. And it was do-it-yourself. And that's an attitude. So I am a do-it-yourself guy. Well, I have a team and I work in a company, but I love to do it myself. So it's do-it-yourself. And it's not a plan or a project or a kind of defined return of invest. It's an attitude. Some call it mindset. Kirk Bourne called it a way of doing things, and I call it attitude. But whatever you want to call it, it's very important, and attitude is key. And it's key for playing around with data as well, or create valuable stuff. So think about your attitude to data. Next one, third origin of me, and then I'm done. Well, there may be a few more. It's difficult to write. Design. I am a designer by choice. And if we look at Wikipedia again, it says design is the creation of a plan or convention for the construction of an object or a system, e.g. architectural blueprints, engineering drawings, business processes, circuit diagrams, sewing patterns, whatever. So it's about creation, and that's important, and about creatorship. But what does it mean? Well, let me tell you a story. I studied visual communication once in a while, somewhere at the Interactive Information Institute in Melbourne, and I met an amazing guy from MIT Boston who wanted to study how cities evolve and what attracts people to cities. He started with a simple idea. Okay, if I give you a huge green field, like this. What did I write here? Doesn't matter. And you should decide which spot you'd want to build your house on. Which one would you choose? And he built a small website around, it was 1998. He built a small website, and people started using the website with this one question: where do you want to build your house? And people started building their house on the grid. And he found out that after a while, cities evolved. There was only one question. Assume this is a city, or this is your land, your whatever place. Where do you want to build your house? And after a while, cities evolved just out of nothing. And that was awesome. So he created insights into cities and infrastructures on a blank page, just like that. And he was probably the first design thinker I met in 1998, without even knowing what design thinking is or whatever he was doing. He was just doing it. He had an idea, he started. It was like a startup style. It was quite interesting. And in my daily job, I always need to design, of course. I have to design data structures and processes. I have to design products or services. I have to design service designs or user interfaces, whatever. I even started thinking about organizational design, something like holacracy or other ideas that come up. How can you build better teams, self-organizing teams? How can you create a room for inspiration, for creatorship, for engineering, for whatever, for all this that it's needed? All right. Was it really 30 minutes over here? I'm not sure. Yes. So I'm an engineer and a craftsman, a musician and a designer, but I'm also a thinker. And I started studying, or I studied philosophy, whilst I also studied engineering in, I don't know, 93 or something. And I learned that our thoughts, habits, rituals, practices, movements, and the consequent decisions and moments are part of something really big. They are part of our national and international history, of our governance and belief systems, of our shared values, habits, habitats, day-to-day routines, and whatever more. And by that it's really difficult to think and act against that foundation. Of course, it is. But we don't have to. We can just push all this, which is part of us, to the edges, from the center to the edges, and act inside this new frame. And that's important. So it's time that we, of course, rethink, reframe, react in the sense of taking action, and revalue. And that's something like, for example, methods teachers like design thinking or business model design. Whoever worked as a data scientist with a business model canvas, not to create a startup, but as part of his daily routine as a data scientist. Well, we have to, more and more. We as a data scientist have to be the ones who think, who create, who design even businesses. Why not? Who else? Who is out there who can do it, if not us? We are the data people right now. We are the data natives. Or we have to teach everybody, which is also fine. Okay, I don't have that many time left, so I go on. I've got, well, how much? Well, 5, it says.
I believe that's wrong.
Yeah, that's what I believe. Okay. Yeah, but still, no, it's okay. Let's just move on. All that said, talking about business model canvas, business model design, yeah, I'm a businessman. How strange. Well, I don't edit there because I don't want to be a businessman normally, but I am. I bridge business ideas, business models to data and back. That's part of my job. I want to enable, to empower, to create something new. So yeah, it's part of my job. And because of that, we created a data science process model, which I initially wanted to pin down, but I don't. It just says, okay, we created a kind of process model of how to start from ideation, data pool creation, exploration, and all this kind of stuff until data product to really guide businesses along this step-by-step guideline to real, let's say, relevant big data products. That was 2 years ago. And it's still valid, sort of. It's okay. It's a good blueprint for creating data products. So if you Google for data science process model, you find something weird of me that I did 2 years ago. But now we have to start again reimagining this process model by integrating design thinking, for example, and merge design thinking and data science process models, or the CRISP model, or whatever we have, and create something bigger, something which starts before the idea, where people have gut feelings and we have trends like deep learning or Industry 4.0 or whatever, and create something new. Let's call it data thinking or digital thinking. We have to create this. And it's not just an attitude or a mindset. No, it's a kind of a way of doing things again. Thanks, Kirk. It's a way of doing things, but we have to imagine it and we have to create it. We have to think again. Yeah? A lot of us have to operate and create products, yes, but others have to think again and create something broader on the meta level. And that's really important. So, where am I now? I'm totally lost. No. Let me tell you a story again. In summer, I got invited to the University of Zurich to join an international group of people talking and brainstorming about the future of arts education. And I was like, why me? The future of arts education, I have not a clue about this. Well, that was their idea, yeah, to invite people who have not a clue about it. But there was one guy, an arts professor of the University of Zurich, who raised two interesting questions. He said, okay, guys, what's in between yes and no? What's in between 0 and 1 nowadays? You guys who talk about algorithms and data, tell me. And he was just stating that we have spaces there. We have a space in between yes and no, and we have a space in between 0 and 1 that we need to explore. The one he called the space of truth, in between yes and no. The other one he called the space of decisioning, between 0 and 1. And that's the space we need to explore. Because what the hell does 0.78 mean? Well, we don't know, and it depends, of course. But we have to explore these spaces. And that's more than just engineering projects or placing algorithms on data. We have to create this feeling and do the interpretation, maybe. And that's really important. And I like to add another one. It's from a book I read recently. What's in between today's and tomorrow's logic? It's another space. I don't have any answer to that. But we have to deal with that, and we have to rethink and go on with this, and that's really important. Okay, you say I have another 10 minutes. Is it true?
We're going to have a 5-minute recess in 10 minutes. Is that right? Does that work?
5 minutes? Yeah.
So you've got 10.
I've got 10. Yeah, awesome. How many slides do I have? No, it's perfect. Oh, good. Otherwise, I just skip a few pages. Okay, what else? I am a teacher, of course. I tell you things and tell other people things. I am a hunter and gatherer, which is more important, so I skip the teacher part, which is, well, you know what I mean. I'm a hunter and gatherer. What does that mean? Well, I'm always curious. I'm always looking for new stuff. We heard it this morning from Louise, who said that she's into computers before the age of BASIC, so before the C64 and just dealing with the stuff. The same with me. I love new stuff. At the moment, it's everything related to craft beer. Well, I already told you. It's playing the new Tomb Raider game. Well, whatever. Who else? No. Right, yeah. I'm into jazz music, which is strange. I hated jazz for 40 years. And now, as I'm getting probably too old, I'm going into jazz music, and I love it. It's like punk, just totally different, you know what I mean? And I love it. It's better than anything else, probably. It's crazy, and I'm into new organizational models, so self-organizing teams and how to handle that with governance meetings and these kind of stuff. But do yourself a favor. Please, stick with your beliefs. I know I sound like a really old teacher now, and your intrinsic interests and motivation. And if you all map this kind of things, map to your daily work with data or without data, you will create amazing things. Don't get disrupted by what a data scientist needs to be or a data engineer and whatever. No, it's there anyway. So that's awesome. And of course, I'm a learner. And I'm a machine learner. So let's say this is the robot here, this guy here, and this is me. So I'm a machine learner. So what does it mean? I train machines. They train me as well. We have to think about it. I'm not just the trainer of a machine learning algorithm, for example. No, the machine trains me. It gives me a result. Any kind of result on any kind of data by that algorithm or by whatever data process I actually apply on. And I have to learn and I have to understand. So I get trained as well by the machine. And we talked about the bias thing Lars did in his talk before. Yes, we are biased because we are humans. Yes. We have, and that's what Lars didn't tell, we have a neurological mechanism that forces us to see meaningful patterns in random data on Mars, in clouds, on toast bread, wherever. We all know that. So of course we are biased. So it's good to have machines at our side who are also biased, maybe by whatever we teach them or by whatever kind of data they got into apply. They are also biased. They are not absolute. And they can act like a kind of common conscience to us if we collaborate with them. We had that before in a talk. So for example, doctors or even data scientists, I use machines as a kind of common conscience. I apply models to it, different kinds, and spread it along the data and look for patterns and try to interpret it and try to understand it. So it's a collaborative task between me and the machine and back, and that's of course really important. But don't take everything for real or for relevant that a machine outputs, please. Douglas Adams once wrote, it's a mistake to think you can solve any major problems just with potatoes. And I like to add, or with deep learning. Yeah. Nothing about deep learning. Yeah, it's quite stunning what you can do. But it's not the answer to any problem we can think of. It's a tool which we can use. And I hope you know that. I gave a talk once on data science in the age of cognitive computing and looked at the changes, it was a year ago, the changes that come to data science today. And we changed quite a lot recently, let's say the last 3 years or 4 years, at least here in Germany. We went from developer to professional users. There's better and better tools. You know of Google now, who open sourced TensorFlow, which of course is mainstreaming AI a little bit. It's part of a mainstreaming approach to artificial intelligence. It's a new tool, but it's just a tool. So we can use it, and we get professional users, which is good. We don't have to start from scratch every day, which is really good. At that time, I said we move from explorer to interpreter. So we as data scientists will do more interpretation than actually exploring the data. And that's a little bit in between right now, I'd say. Yes, we can use machine power, and we have amazing power to run algorithms on data, on scale, on GPUs, and whatever we want to do. And they can help us. And we get into the into the role of, okay, whatever outputs we are and whatever kind of automation we have to interpret. That's part of our job. Yes? And we go from business enabler as a data scientist to a business supporter. And that's not true anymore. I stated that last year, and it's just wrong. So we are still business enabler, and maybe have to talk about business creators. Because we are the only ones who know. I talk to so many companies, to so many people out there from the industry, from pharma, from banks, from whatever you want to know, any kind of industry. And they just can't do it. They just can't reimagine their actual business or business model to a new kind of business model. They can't do it, so they need us. So we're still business enablers, yes, but we are empowerers, and we are the creators probably, and a part of the play. And that's really, really important. So, last but not least, if we look at data science now, we all know, this is too small. We all know what Hillary Mason did. I think we do. Yes, we do. Hillary Mason said, okay, what is data science? And it was hacking, it was computer sciences. Don't take it wrong. It was engineering, math and stats. Oh, math and stats, left-handed is bad. And hacking and computer science. And she said, okay, data scientists are somewhere here. There's, I don't know, probably 10 years ago. No, not really, 7, 8 years ago. And these are the awesome nerds. I think all of you heard of awesome nerds. We are awesome nerds. Well, I am not, because I'm not a data scientist. But all of you, you're awesome nerds, and that's quite good. Feels good, right? But with all that I told you, there's a lot more of these bubbles, these circles, these skills, these beliefs, these kind of doing things, create, play the piano, being a businessman, do craft beer, whatever. It's a lot more. And that's data science as a whole. And then we have to divide it up. One person, second person, third person probably. And we build teams. Yeah, that's awesome. And overall, if we add more and more, we create a company. And that's what we need to do. So thanks. I'm not a data scientist. I hope you are. And if you have questions, there are 2 minutes left. Thank you.